Hello, I'm Mary Ann Boer from HIMSS, and welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for taking time to be here today. We have an exciting program for you, but before we get started, I would like to highlight a few things so that you'll know how to participate in today's event. Now, at the bottom of your screen are multiple application engagement tools you can use. All these engagement tools are resizable and movable, so feel free to move them around to get the most out of your desktop space. Now, if you need technical support during today's event, click the question mark icon in the navigation menu at the bottom of your screen. You'll find answers to frequently asked questions, or you can type your questions in the Q&A widget to the right of the media player. You can use that same box to submit questions to our speakers at any time. If we don't get to your question today, we'll follow up with you offline. Engage with today's content and let us know how you're feeling with the emoji reactions. Now, if you miss anything, don't worry. You will receive an email within 24 hours with a link to the on-demand recording when it becomes available. So now, we'll get started with today's program, Modernizing Healthcare with Future-Ready Data Platforms and Analytics, sponsored by Impetus Technologies. Our speakers today are Shilpi Saxena, Senior Director, Cloud and Data Engineering at Impetus, and Ravi Baji, Analytics Sales Specialist, HCLS AWS at Amazon Web Services.
Thank you so much. So I'll first of all start with one of the biggest challenges which healthcare organizations are facing right now. Enormous amount of structured and unstructured data. This includes patient data, patient satisfaction data, inpatient, outpatient data. There are data items related to financial claims, a lot of healthcare devices, IoT device data. All this data is in different formats. It is unstructured, it is siloed, collecting, cleansing, handling all this data is a huge challenge. Now, with this siloed data, one of the biggest challenges is to draw out actionable insights. How do we use this data to improve the patient care, bring in operational efficiencies? And right now, as we speak, many CIOs and health IT leaders are ready to undergo digital transformation for their organization's data analytical program. Now, moving on to next slide, we would help you achieve all this and more with us. I'll now be talking about transforming the digital nuclei for the healthcare partners. Now, some of the use cases to highlight is how we modernize legacy system to automate the core of the healthcare processes. It starts with patient record management solutions for the hospitals and moves up to modern use cases like detection, AIML-based use cases like detection of diabetic retinopathy using image analytics. Now, one of the most critical aspects is how do you mine and visualize the data? For instance, the use case where we did drug disease co-occurrence, it was typically around mining the data and visualizing in a manner so that the healthcare professionals can effectively use it. Anomaly detection into medical healthcare records. So now if you see, it's well-rounded and holistic. It is not just converging into patients and doctors area. It is also covering the insurance and medical claim record segment. So all these eventually fall under a single canopy, and AI and ML-based prediction algorithms are really transforming the world around how healthcare partners are managing their data strategy. It is linked to supply chain inventory management. It is linked to patient experience and disease outcomes. It is also ensuring that all the compliances, like even the compliances like HIPAA, EDI, and all the other governance and regulation monitoring is right now being done critically using AI and ML techniques to do the complete quality checks and detection of how data processing is being done. I will now be talking about some of the areas where we have delivered transformational impact in terms of how we have reformed and transformed the health data journey for the healthcare enterprises through a unified data platform creation. Now, you can see the areas are typically, the last slide I talked predominantly about the business outcome, and this slide typically talks about technology and the functional aspect, where we talk about the risk reduction to ensure whatever data is being processed and used is QA checked and the quality is being ensured. We are working towards a lot of automation to ensure faster development time In fact, in one case, we have basically transformed the entire delivery cycle to 75% reduced development effort through Lego-based architecture. And one of the critical aspect is performance. Like healthcare, segment is mission critical. Actionable insight in time is extremely critical to the lives in the hands of medical professionals. So performance efficiency and accuracy, both of those aspects are extremely important, which have been catered into various solutions which we have delivered around this particular domain. We can also talk about real solutions where we have increased the system availability to 99.995%. Compute cost reduction, security, compliances, all these are integral aspects of any data platform that we build. Okay. Now, moving on to the next slide, this is a glimpse into our trusted relationships with data and cloud nuclei for the enterprises. You can see some of the large-scale solutions for we have worked with some of the largest solutions for Fortune 500 customers in various domains, and the figures, they speak for themselves. And the highlights that I have just covered, it's not just in terms of the business value, but also about the outcome for the organizations which they were able to realize from the implementations. Having talked so much about what we have caused and created for enterprises in this domain and sector, this is about Impetus Technologies. We are a self-funded organization incorporated in US in 1996. And most of the customer logos that you saw in the last slide, the relationships have been more than a decade long. We are a 3,000 plus engineer organization globally, and 20 plus of our customers are Fortune 100 customers. One of the core differentiation that Impetus has as compared to other typical service providers is the core product DNA that we have. And that is, the testimonial is that we have created 5 product companies with the innovation and the ideation that we have done in our journey. Our consistent year-on-year growth is over 25%. And some of the core pillars that we stand by is integrity and consistency. We come with a very strong data and cloud experience at scale. And we have a highly efficient and differentiated professional services team. I'll now talk a bit about our data and analytics service portfolio. Now, as you see, we provide comprehensive services around cloud and data engineering. And as I have mentioned, Impetus started on big data journey pretty early. Innovation and working on cutting-edge technologies has been our core differentiator. In fact, we started on big data back in 2007-8, even before Cloud Era as a company was incorporated. We have since then seen a lot of challenges and inhibitions of the customers around adoption of cloud, from security, cost to how will they migrate from on-prem to cloud, etc., etc. Hence, we have tried to round out our services portfolio from providing architecture consulting, audit and benchmarking, to modernizing applications for cloud, to build data lakes and platforms, to build analytics as a service and data as a service, to manage cost through efficient cost engineering and cloud ops solutions. Impetus solves the data and analytics and AI puzzle for organizations with its unique and data-focused offerings. We leverage a 360-degree approach to help our customers by modernizing, unification, and innovation while meeting their data and analytics goal. To modernize, we help enterprise modernize their rigid, expensive, monolithic data platforms that exist in silos to newer modern data platforms that are ready to drive innovations in hours, days versus months and years. When I talk about unify, once we modernize, all the data can be brought together and provide a single source of truth. Now, this actually enables enterprises to extract actionable insights. Once you have modernized the platform, you've got your data strategy right, and you've got the mythical, unachievable single source of truth actually existing for you, and then the innovation gets unleashed. This is where we enable enterprises unlock new use cases for AI and ML that drive immense value and business growth. We help organizations unleash the true value of their business with impetus cloud and data engineering services, migration and replatforming of offerings like LeapLogic, and cutting-edge data science solutions. Two of the differentiators and accelerators that we are using extensively to onboard enterprises rapidly onto cloud. And here we are talking in cognition with AWS specifically. So basically, DPA helps you create fast-track enterprise data platform by reducing the overall development effort from 50 to 80%, rather than getting it created all by core development. It lets you create a data lake, spin a data lake literally with configurations. It manages all the aspects of data platform, right from perspective of ingestion to the governance to enabling the access layer on top of it. It can enable single source of truth across organization very, very quickly. So this takes care of your modern data. Quickly spin up a modern data platform on AWS for you. Now, one of the trouble is that you got to get your legacy workloads, your legacy business logic into place. This is where LeapLogic comes into picture. It is an automated transformation end-to-end operationalization accelerator that lets you transform and translate your legacy workloads up to an efficiency of 95% and get them into cloud. So we have great success stories where we have used LeapLogic extensively to offboard enterprises from legacy data warehouses and ETL solutions to modern data warehouses like Redshift and using Glue and other systems. It is cheaper, it is quicker, it is compliant, it adheres to all SLAs, and it takes care of your risk aspect, which generally enterprises have when they are taking this leap to future with the modern data platform. Now, this is a glimpse of our AWS partnership. We are advanced consulting partner. We have had multiple successful MAP programs, and we are a MAP approved partner. LeapLogic as an accelerator is listed onto AWS Marketplace, while DPA is in progress. In terms of competencies and expertise, we have competencies in DNA, migration capability review. We've got the DevOps competency. We have competencies in MSK, EMR, Redshift, Lambda, Glue. And in terms of domain experiences, we have solutions created, and we have AWS domain experience in terms of travel, aviation, hospitality, BFSI, apart from healthcare that we would be talking about in detail.
Thank you, Shilpi. Now I've got a few questions I'd like to ask you both. Now, Ravi, we'll start with you. Now, what, in your opinion, are the top trends and opportunities for healthcare in 2023?
Thank you for the question. And also, thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate it. And Shilpi, it was a great presentation and discussion. And I think, what we see at AWS as one of the primary trends in healthcare is this industry focus on moving towards technology-enabled personalized healthcare. And this is for multiple reasons, to reduce costs, speed diagnosis, prevent unnecessary overcare, readmission, improve revenue realization by organizations, and increase patient and clinician satisfaction. And this is all in a setting of rising costs of care that's driving organizations to seek cost control methods and improved organizational efficiency. Also, there's a workforce shortage and skills gap, which is further increasing costs, as organizations are paying double or triple for contract workers. And I think Shilpi covered some of these technology trends that are helping to address these issues. And the first, is modernizing care infrastructure. So again, most healthcare data is stored in disparate, unstructured formats, making it really hard to analyze. And using analytics and AI/ML services like Amazon Health Lake can solve this problem by bringing it together in a way that creates a more complete view of a patient's entire medical history. And implementing technologies like machine learning can help automate processes and help improve efficiency, reduce hospital waste, and decrease physician burnout. Additionally, you can use our purpose-built AI services that can automatically transform data in minutes instead of weeks or months. So clinicians can accelerate time to diagnosis and provide early intervention. Now, as you use more of these technology services and you're able to create this a more holistic view of patients, you can start to better understand the health of a population and make more data-driven decisions to care for millions of patients and improve health equity by addressing bias, which is a really important thing these days. And finally, Gen AI is seeing increasing interest, to put it mildly, in achieving this personalized healthcare. Traditional methods of machine learning have been able to demonstrate decision-making capabilities that are really good when using predictions based on historical data. Now, Gen AI has the potential to further expand these capabilities in support of healthcare and improve patient outcomes.
Terrific. Now, Shilpi, what data, analytics, and cloud challenges do you see your clients in healthcare facing?
Well, we say analytics is data-driven and business critical. Well, but in the area of healthcare, it is mission critical. Now, even today, with the latest technology which we have, gathering, analyzing, and interpretation of data in this particular segment and domain is really difficult. So if I talk about specifically, there are many challenges, but one of the core and the critical aspect is data acquisition. It's not just in terms of the volume, but also in terms of the variety and accuracy of the data. There are so many moving components in the entire ecosystem. There are health providers, there are public health specialists, employers, peers, social network communities, patients, professionals, healthcare professionals, and each of these personas, each of these components in this ecosystem generate variety of unstructured and different sorts of data. Now, when we talk about analytics, the first and the foremost component is getting the data strategy right, getting the data into a shape where you can actually run some AI, ML, or some kind of intel on top of it to draw the insights. Now, and as Ravi just said, eventually it all maps to patient's well-being journey. It maps to operational efficiency for the business. It maps to making sure that the supply chain systems are working efficiently and you've got the right aspects from drug delivery and the other things taken care in time. So data acquisition, I would say, is still one of the biggest challenge. The second, now once you've got that aspect sorted out, the next one that I would want to count about is data interoperability and the fragmented care. Now, in the same canopy, governance, lineage, and linkage aspects get catered to. Different systems behave differently. Different agencies have their own format. Of course, there is an exercise going around to have common formats for some of the insurance agencies, and we've got EHR formats. But look at the data. The prescriptions are handwritten. Reports have different parameters. So interoperability is a real big challenge. Even if you have all data into the system, getting it into a manner where you can stitch it together is still a challenge. And of course, as I would say, Ravi mentioned, Gen AI really looks very promising in some of those areas to create transformational results there. Last but not the least, the item that I would want to touch upon would be data privacy and security. So if I talk about HIPAA alone, it caters to at least almost 18, 19 components of PHI that must be ensured. And the main challenge is for us, I'm a data engineer by heart. So for me, I need data to create some insights out of it. But if I eliminate some of these core PHI components and I still keep the core essence of the data valuable for analysis without, making sure that the policy enforcement is taken care of is not an easy feat. So all these, out of all the many aspects which are challenging, these three are really very critical, and Some of them would be we are looking at Gen AI to solve some of these critical puzzle pieces for us there. Thanks.
Absolutely. And I want to follow up with you on that, Shilpi. What is a unified healthcare data platform? And for organizations, what should the business drivers and patient care considerations be for setting up that kind of cloud-based data platform?
Well, as you see, the name itself says data in unison. Now, what does that mean? If I get into a little deeper detail, the data is unified, it is connected, it is scalable, it is extensible, it is secure and compliant. Now, once we have all these aspects taken care of, that is the core fundamental aspect of data, unified data platform. Now, it's very easy to talk about these aspects in theory, and it's not that it's a real challenge to get it implemented. And some of the service offerings that we have on AWS, we've been really able to crack through wonderful success stories out there using you talk about if I talk about functionally, by data lake creation aspect is very well taken care through the lake formation and S3s of the world. Glue cataloging and Glue enablement gives me a great way to basically process and enable ETL pipelines on top of it. Now, once my data is collected and it is processed, then you have your data access layer enabled. And there you can actually create plethora of use cases, at which typically mostly are in area of AI and ML right now, to draw insights out of it. Now, if I take a step further and talk about it functionally, a unified data platform, what does it enable for an organization functionally? It basically means that you're aggregating data from disparate sources into a single view, and that data is giving you a access layer where you can actually query and find answers to your business critical questions. Now, if I talk about some of the success stories, interoperability for insurance providers, patient 360 and predictive analysis, real-time monitoring and real-time alerting for critical care patients, and of course, research, management of patient wait time, hospital operational aspect management system. So all these are basically some of the core use cases which you can very quickly and easily enable once your data platform is sorted out.
I see. Now, Ravi, can you maybe talk a little bit about what mistakes or pitfalls should be avoided for an organization embarks on the AWS data platform journey?
Sure. I would say to start with, it's not a problem with just a quick technology fix. This is something it's truly a journey that the customer will need to undergo. And you'll want to start with ensuring you have the right mindset and your people and process are aligned. And so trying to answer these questions on how are you organized to create, use, and incentivize data products? How are you organized to deliver value? Do you have alignment with business and tech leaders on prioritized use cases to ensure you deliver business value as quickly as possible? And really, you need to build together, the business and the tech teams to test and learn and deliver this incremental value. And when you come to technology, obviously there are multiple choices that you can make. And, you want to ensure that you use the right tool for the right purpose. We have purpose-built services for healthcare related data. And you'll notice that, they're serverless, right? And we're moving in a serverless direction. And to really facilitate this testing and learning and experimentation and delivering incremental value as you go along and building out this platform, serverless is probably the way to go and where you'd want to start to really facilitate that experimentation, and provides you the flexibility and to scale confidently go into the future.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, Shilpi, I want to ask you, what are the core capabilities and, the must-have features and best practices of a modern data platform in AWS that can help create the right foundation for enterprises?
I'd like to take a cue from what Ravi just mentioned, that right mindset and getting into this journey is the core and most critical aspect of the I would say, it's one of the core and the most critical aspect that needs to be taken care when for the success of this entire initiative, whichever organization is getting into it. Talking about now, once that has been decided, now talking about must-have features, if I'll talk from an AWS perspective, data lake forms the core of it. And a scalable data lake is a must-have thing for any modern data platform. And for that, we've got wide variety of selection things that we can use. S3 has been absolutely phenomenal, you know, to with its features and offerings to provide that scale, to provide that robustness, to ensure the governance and the security aspect. If I top it up with Athena and Glow, it gives me complete capability from the perspective of querying the data into the data lake, as well as taking care of the ETL and the ELT transformations there. Now, once the data layer or the data lake aspect has been taken care of, the next perspective is purpose-built analytical service layer. Now, your data, core of the data is taken care of. You've got your data lake layer sorted out. Next, you need to create analytics on top of it and have access to that insight that you're crafting out of it. That is where components like Athena, OpenSearch come into play, Kinesis come into play. Plus, we can create purpose-built data warehouses in terms of Redshift, and also use loads on create craft workloads on EMR for deep analytics. So all these capability basically provide various tools to various segments of developers, like business users, data scientists, core development teams, folks who basically query the data. Next aspect is from a governance perspective, where lake formation and Glue catalog takes care of the meta aspect of the data very nicely. And last but not the least is the cost and the monitoring aspect, where you actually keep a complete tab through CloudTrails and other logging mechanisms over the data observability aspect, and ensure that when you're running the platform, you have complete access over the data lineage, data quality, and the data transformations.
Terrific. Now, Ravi, can you tell us how AWS-based data analytics solutions and technologies can be leveraged for better patient care?
Sure. I think this is a point that Shilpi and I have made a couple of times during this discussion. And, the big thing is 90+% of data in healthcare is unused right now because it's unstructured. It's in notes, it's in images. And AWS is really investing in solutions that are specifically designed for healthcare related data. We have services like Comprehend Medical that can help pull relevant data from notes. Health Lake that can quickly load claims data and images so they can be easily organized and queried. And another point that Shilpi brought up earlier too is about data silos, right? And those data silos exist within organizations and across organizations. And when we think about customers and improving, their experience, in healthcare, we're talking these customers are patients, right? And improving their experience is extending and improving their life. So, we have a service called Clean Rooms, which can allow you to safely, securely share data across organizations to help you get to that, goal of improving and saving and extending lives. And this is all in addition to the core analytic services, which Shilpi explained very well, right? And across ingestion, storage, and consumption. Using these services, again, you can unify your data, you can ensure the security, and you can innovate by using the right tools for the right use case, and putting that undifferentiated heavy lifting on AWS and really focusing on, core mission.
Absolutely. Now, Shilpi, what healthcare use cases can enterprises enable by using predictive analytics and AI and ML on the organization data platform?
I would say there are many, and as we speak, there are scientists who are enabling new and new use cases through the data generated insights that they are able to draw once the data strategy aspect is sorted out. Now, couple that I would like to point out for this discussion is one of the aspect that we just mentioned is seamless data access across hospitals and insurance providers. So now that is, once we have this access, so fraudulent claims, incorrect records, anomalies. Now, once you have this data access strategy sorted out, all these things can be catered very nicely, and these insurance providers as well as hospitals and healthcare centers can provide better treatment to the patients. Patient 360 and predictive analytics on the entire patient personified data would really become a real thing, like a patient visiting hospital 1 and hospital 2. If the data is available and we are able to create a digital persona of the patient around that, the predictive analysis or analytics on patient 360 becomes a real world thing. Now all the data, see, so far we have been talking about prescriptions, we've been talking about insurance data, but one of the critical component in the healthcare industry is device data. All the data that is being collected through the sensor and the IoT devices. You talk about the pacemakers, the BP monitors, and all the other gadgets. All these data basically is being used for predictive analytics into healthcare, and even it's saving life by sending the right alerting and right real-time monitoring as we speak. Research, patient care, weight management, operational aspects are other critical aspects where AI and ML can really cause wonders, not just in terms of extending the lives of the patients, but also giving personalized health care to the folks who are in need of it.
Great. Now, Shilpi, I just have one more question for you. Can you give one real-world example of any customer you've worked with that has benefited from this healthcare data platform?
Sure. I would like to talk about one of the healthcare giant where which provides healthcare solution focused on insurance claims, and it basically hosts variety of data assets which has information pertaining to patients, peers, providers. Now, we have enabled their core data, healthcare data platform, and that in turn adheres to several government norms like CMS data interoperability, healthcare data protection laws like HIPAA. And basically this unified platform, which is HIPAA compliant, has enabled single source of truth for this organization. And they've been able to democratize the data across the organization. This has not only helped them build a solid data foundation to unleash variety of data-enabled use cases, but they've also been able to launch new products that require basically integrated data access. Now, if I talk about some of the key benefits here, it has helped them drive a competitive edge with respect to having a comprehensive data source with highly monetizable healthcare data. The entire platform is highly scalable and it is providing reliable SLA to their end customer. Unification of the data, preparation, democratization, interchange of the data through advanced platform capabilities has enabled them to unleash plethora of use cases. And as well as we say, data silos have been removed, so they've been able to analyze data insights for marketing and get into new emerging markets. This integrated data from disparate sources has basically helped them enable better treatment in terms of patient experience with respect to insurance claims, pharmacy claims, and medical billing, etc. And one of the best things that has got enabled for them is data exchange between different insurance providers. So they've been able to seamlessly exchange patient data records between different insurance providers. So I'm talking about one of our key customer in healthcare domain.
That's fantastic. At this time, we do have to wrap up. Ravi, Shilpi, thank you both again for joining us today and for sharing all of your insights with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And once again, we want to thank our sponsor, Impetus Technologies, for their support of this webinar. Now, don't forget to take our brief evaluation at the conclusion of today's event and share your thoughts with us. Now, as a reminder, you'll receive an email within 24 hours to re-watch the on-demand recording of today's session, and it will be available in the HIMSS Resource Hub for a limited time, so feel free to come back and watch it at any time. Thanks, everyone, and have a terrific rest of your day.